Welcome back, everybody. Time for some more Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Now, way back at Alpha 3, which seems like a lifetime ago with this game, we attempted to recreate the Battle of the Denmark Strait, which was, of course, that famous battle in which the German battleship Bismarck, along with the Prince Eugen, took on HMS Hood, the Prince of Wales, and a few other ships, and that was when Hood was famously destroyed with the loss of almost all of their crew. But obviously, now that we are much further along in the development of this game, we can make a much more accurate looking Bismarck. So, behold, I give you the new and improved version of the Bismarck. And obviously, some things are still limited and some things are still not exact, but I feel like this looks a lot more like the historic Bismarck than what we had before. And so we've tried to recreate things like speed and armament and armor as best we can. So we do have the 15-inch guns where they were historically. We do have the 6-inch guns about where they were historically as best we could. We've got the 4-inch guns along here. There were 16 of those. So I've kind of approximated those the best we could. I did all the armor as best as I could find the information on it. We've got a little bit of weight left over, and historically Bismarck was closer to about 50,000 tons fully loaded. So we're a little above that, but to get this particular hull, that's the lowest we can go with that hull is 52.5. So with all of that in mind, we're going to go ahead and dive into our recreation of the Battle of Denmark Strait. I've got myself, along with my heavy cruiser, along with me. I have no idea what it'll be called, but it was the Prince Eugen. Okay, here we go. Battleship and a heavy cruiser against a battleship, battle cruiser, 2 heavy cruisers. Let's see what we got. The Hansa. Enemy smoke spotted to the north. So historically, I believe the first shots were fired at about 26,000 meters out, and those were fired by the Hood, I think. So we'll see how long it takes before we start seeing firing here. Yeah, Hood opened fire at 5:52 in the morning. And they fired on what they thought was the Bismarck, but they were actually firing on the Prince Eugen because they expected them to be in the opposite position. They were firing on the leading ship. The Prince Eugen was actually out in front of the Bismarck. Maybe that's what we'll do here, is we'll have the... We'll have the same thing happen here. Prince of Wales, by the way, which was a brand new German or British battleship that had just come out and was really not even ready, had those quad turrets. They actually pretty quickly identified the Bismarck and began firing on her. We're going to go with a tight formation. Start dropping our speed. Not entirely sure why Bismarck's doing this. It was about 10 minutes in to the fight that Bismarck dropped a shell in Hood's aft magazine and caused an explosion which killed, I think, all but like 3 of their crew, and it sank in just a couple of minutes. I'm not expecting we're going to get that lucky here. Looks like Bismarck's finally getting turned back around. Let's go ahead and watch her fire for a minute. So originally, Admiral Sir John Tovey had deliberated on ordering the ships to go with Prince of Wales ahead of Hood, knowing that Hood really didn't have enough protection to go at a distance against a ship like Bismarck with those 15-inch guns, but ended up not doing that. And of course, we know the result. So even though this was the Battle of Denmark Strait was a British defeat in terms of the battle itself, in the long term, it had the desired effect. Two things. Bismarck and Prince Eugen were attempting to break out into the North Atlantic, where they would basically be commerce raiders and try to disrupt all the supplies that were coming into the British from across the ocean, from the United States and other places. And they did stop that from happening because Bismarck did take a hit, I think in the front end of the ship on their fuel storage, and they had to divert from going out to sea and head over to France to get repairs. And it was during that heading to France that they were spotted, and the rudder was damaged by a plane, I think from the Ark Royal. I could be wrong about that. And she basically couldn't turn at that point except for in one direction, and then the British in hot pursuit were able to finally come and finish her off. I'm a little disappointed in my accuracy so far from the Bismarck. It's already taken damage. 3.7% now. How far out are we? 15.8 kilometers. So we're already, I think, closer than this historic battle was. Looks like we just landed our first big hit, though. Actually, did this battle once already, and I hadn't realized that my hard drive was out of space, and about halfway through the battle it stopped recording, and I'm disappointed that you won't get to see that, because Bismarck was having such a hard time hitting anybody that I actually had to come in close. And when I got about 6 kilometers out, the battle cruiser, which in that case was the Rodney, actually hooded the Bismarck. It was fantastic. It was just such poetic justice. Bismarck's front, and it was the rear, one of the rear 15-inch turrets flew off, and you had that flash fire going, and she was only down to about half damage and just exploded. It was amazing. But alas, I didn't record it, so we're doing this again. And part of the problem is I don't remember what I talked about already and what I didn't. So I'm trying to take out this lead ship, and it looks like so far we're doing pretty good with that. This is the battle cruiser, basically the equivalent of the hood. So I went with 1940 technology for the Germans and like 1932 for the British, which I know the British battleship was brand new, so that doesn't work with them, but the hood was a much older ship. And so I was trying to balance the two as best I could. Let's go ahead and start coming around. Come on, baby. Nice, there's another big hit. The Black Prince this time. Interesting. I'm assuming that that's named after the son of Edward III, who was known as the Black Prince. He was the Prince of Wales. He was the father of Richard II. I think we might have this battle cruiser. It's interesting because this battle's already going way better than it did the first time I fought it. And I didn't make any changes to the Bismarck. Come on, baby. So Black Prince's engine damaged and then repaired, damaged and then repaired, over and over again. Go ahead and speed things up a little bit here. So going after the battle cruiser makes the most sense because it's got the big guns but not as much armor. Whereas the battleship will be a lot harder to sink with similar sized guns. I think we might have the Black Prince here. Although I don't know if we've caused enough sinking or flooding damage yet. It's going to be really close. Okay, now we got the front. That's going to be enough to finish them off. Bye-bye. Okay. So it looks like his heavy cruisers are coming in on me now. Let's go ahead after them. They'll be easy targets compared to the battleship, which I don't even see at the moment. Oh, yeah, no, there's nothing. Of course, after the hood was sunk, the British ended up disengaging. A lot of torpedoes on this guy. Not sure he's going to get a chance to use them. Let's go ahead and watch the Bismarck for a little bit. Watch it in real time though. So far, Bismarck's taken 52 hits. They've had 4 fires. We've only dealt 17 hits, but we've caused twice as much damage. Oh, we've got the Duke of Edinburgh. Interesting. Not sure there was one at the time. It's a title that was given to the Queen's, well, husband now. Nice little collision there. Still don't know where his battleship is. He's disappeared on me. Yeah, we just need to land one nice big hit on this guy. I think we're gonna go ahead and start turning toward him. Close the distance. I'm not too worried about these 2 armored cruisers getting any big hits on my battleship, and we need to start getting closer so we can find his. Nice, that was a big hit there. 2 big hits. Might be enough to sink her. Yep, She's gone. Beautiful. Your turn. Duke of Edinburgh is like, yeah, I don't want it to be my turn. Nice. Oh, didn't do much damage though. Where is that battleship? Oh, there you are. It's the only thing I wish, and maybe in the future they'll make the ability to do this. I wish we could do a little more to mix the technologies. Because I wanted to be able to give them an older battle cruiser with a newer battleship. Instead I had to kind of balance it out. So we've got flooding in just 2 forward compartments right now on Duke of Edinburgh. Come our 15-inch shells. No hits. I've got torpedoes of my own. I'm just not in range for them right now. There we go. Now we've got flooding in 3 more compartments. I think no. I thought I had flooding in the center, but it looks like it's just in the rear. It is 3 more compartments, though. It's just the 3 in the rear. But he's getting on top of the flooding in the front, so that doesn't really help me. There's a big hit. He's got fires all along the ship now. Now it looks like you put that one out. Not now. Come on, give me a flash fire. No, he's got him put out again. Yeah, you better run. Man, this battle's going so differently than the last one did. Wish you could have seen it. This guy's been pretty tough though, man. I'll give him that. For a cruiser, he is hanging on. against a lot of firepower. There it is. Oh. 1,500 in damage. 2 hits from the 15-inch guns. That was too much. And then there's... Oh, just as I went off of it, we got the flash fire for 10,000 more damage. Yes! Oh, yes! Oh, I wish I would have stayed there a second longer to watch those turrets fly off. We are going to go ahead and watch this sink. We'll go ahead and speed up the time a little bit, though. It's going to go straight down. Look at that. Don't see too many of those. Renown. Okay. Only 13-inch guns. Actually, I had smaller guns in the battlecruiser. But 19-inch armor. That's going to be interesting. Now we're basically broadside to her right now. We'll keep that going. She's not even firing on me right now because they're conserving ammo. That's not a winning strategy, sir. Tell you what, though, that 19-inch armor's holding up nicely. We're getting most of our penetration on the extended deck. On the extended bow, I should say. Belt. Alright, let's go in. Start closing the distance. There we go. Nice. Not a lot of flooding damage, but we're getting structural damage on them. Oh, there we go. We're not going to miss too often at this point. Not at this distance. lovely. Let's take a look at the side of the ship. Oh, we've even got torpedoes coming in at them, but they're going to miss. Man, how close do you think we can get? Let's hold off on any more firing. Now we might pay for this because he does still have some shells that he's not using at the moment. But let's go ahead and try to come right up alongside for the kill shot. We're at just 2 kilometers now. We might lose the Hansa in the process because they could score a lucky hit from this distance and wipe me out. But I want to let Bismarck do the finishing blows here if we can. Of course, the problem is with my guns turned off, they're not turning. There we go. We're going to get the front ones on him. Oh, yeah. One more shot from the Bismarck might be enough to finish him. Not sure why we're not firing. Must be waiting for the other turret to get around. Oh, Renown's gonna die before we get to shoot again. Come on, Bismarck. Alright, here's the deal. Hansa, you're almost dead anyway from getting this close. Detach. I'll tell Hansa not to fire. Only Bismarck. Yeah, I guess Bismarck was waiting for this last turret to get around. Here we go. Boom. Bye-bye. Look at all the smoke. There we go. Alright, that was fun. Let me know your thoughts. If you have another idea for one you'd like to see, just use the comment section below and we'll try to make it happen. Thanks for watching.